All right. Um, Back with my man Dave Williams. Uh, a man that has so much knowledge when it comes to the No Fun League, and that's why it's a pleasure to have him back in the Foxhole. All right, let's get into the nitty-gritty. Let's start off with the American Football Conference. And there's so many things to talk about. I'm just gonna start with the obvious. It was just today, I guess, they polled the fan bases, and he's like the most unlikable player in the NFL. What do you think about A-Rod in the Steel City?
Whew. Well, he's definitely going to be better than he's definitely an upgrade even at his advanced age. Um, because I mean, Justin Fields, I mean, he can't hit the side of a barn. And Russell Wilson, he was washed, and so I think it's an upgrade. But I mean, Pittsburgh now, I mean, it's just to me, it's just like they're not serious Super Bowl contenders because I mean, it seems like they're more interested in keeping Mike Tomlin's streak of not having a losing season alive more than anything else. But
Which is,
I,
which
I,
is, go ahead.
go ahead.
I was gonna say, which is one of the questions I had in all of this. Do you think he has overstayed his time in the Steel City?
Yes,
Okay. Yeah, I
I
feel
mean,
that same way, and our man Cools Walker will tell you the same thing.
because I mean, John Madden once said, 10 to 12 years is enough to, it's after 10 to 12 years they need to hear the players need to hear a different voice,
Oh,
and because I mean, the game changes from when the coach starts and he's there for a while. The game does change, but a lot of times the coach does not.
no, absolutely. I mean, we saw that
So
with Belichick, how quickly that rotted out when you take away a generational player.
right. So yeah, I think they need to hear a new voice. But here's an interesting thing, man. With
Okay.
the there are more living ex-presidents than living ex-Pittsburgh Steelers coaches.
Which is
That's just
absolutely
something
wild.
that's just something about the stability of that
No,
organization.
absolutely.
Even though I think it's time to make have one more ex-Steeler head coach, but I think that says a lot about that organization.
Oh, sure. And like, Coward got out at the right time. Noel stayed on too long, and his stubbornness cost him Dan Marino. And
Right.
obviously, this nonsense that you're seeing play out since, Big Ben got long in the tooth. Okay, in that division, which is interesting, there's a couple of things here, but so like I said, with both of these conferences, so much to talk about. Let's go to Cincinnati first. You talked about this when we were kind of warming up, as we'll call that first segment because of the weirdness, I think. Um, Joey Cool, is it time for him to put up or shut up? I mean, we know he's got lots of skills and really the only one to kind of take Mahomes down. How do you feel about where Joey Cool is in spite of that defense?
Like I said, I think he's gonna have a hell of a year, and I think he's gonna be one of the two or three top MVP candidates. I don't think they're good because of that defense. I don't think they're going to get over the hump.
Very tough
But
to overcome that.
but I think that I mean with what he's got around him, he's going to put up some numbers. And when you look at it in that conference, he has been the only one who can look Patrick Mahomes in the eye and say, "Hey, man, I got you" when it counted. So
Okay, so along with
we're one. He can go. We're 1-1, and
mhm.
in the big game. Now it's time for a rubber match. But
Okay, so in that same vein, okay, when we talk about Mahomes Mountain, as Nick Wright is always spewing about, um, let's Lamar and Josh, right? Because unlike Mahomes, when there's money on the table, they ain't got none. How do you feel about those two and where they are right now?
you know, I'm a little less critical of Josh Allen than I am Lamar because Josh Allen, I mean, isn't it not been his fault they've lost those games.
This is
I mean,
true.
like that one classic game. I mean, with 13 seconds left, I mean, if you squid kick it and take some time off the clock on the kickoff, and if you, I mean, come on, your defense, lets them go get into go what down the field in 13 seconds. Come on, and then like last year in the championship game, his tight end. I mean, he put the ball right in his tight end's hands on that fourth down, and the guy drops it. And then the year before, the guy misses a field goal. I mean, you can't put that on Josh Allen.
Very unlucky, whereas Lamar, where everybody's been bending over backwards for him to anoint him and have him have that moment, and he's always kind of
Yeah,
ducketless.
right. Yeah, so I'm more critical of like I said, I'm giving Josh Allen a little more leeway than
Okay, fair enough.
and just and also Josh Allen. I'm a little biased because, like I said, you remember I did work in
Oh
Fireball,
yeah, I guess that's one of our great stories.
and I and I do know his parents.
Oh, you do know his parents. I was always wondering about that. Okay.
Yeah, I do know his parents, and I do know his aunt actually was a I don't know if she's still up here, but she was a police officer up in Santa Rosa. So
No kidding. Wow. I learn something new all the time. That's what happens in the foxhole. We get good
yeah,
inside dope.
yeah. So I'm a little biased to her, but
Okay.
still, even if I didn't have that connection, I'd still wouldn't be as hard on him.
I'm the same way because I feel he's been very unlucky, like many people, like in the era of Mahomes. But
Yeah,
it's hard. It's like with Lamar, he's left a lot to be desired, when it mattered the most.
yeah, yeah.
Okay, let me ask you this, because like I said, when it comes to the AFC, there's so much interesting things. Now, when I look down at, whatever you want to call it, the AFC East, right? What have we got? Justin Fields, Tua, and Drake May, as you mentioned, is somebody who you feel could be legit.
Right.
What to make of that frigging division? Since Brady and Belichick departed, you got Josh Allen, obviously, but as we just said, the Bills have always been I don't know how another way to say it, just an unlucky organization when it comes to getting the chip.
Yeah, I'm not good. What did the Ralph Wilson, the guy who owned him, what crimes did he commit when he first started the
He
team or
did some, he
in his
did
in his
some.
childhood?
Is it maybe because he loaned Al Davis money and kept Al Davis in the game that the football gods said,
That could have
man,
been. But I look at the AFC East, and I mean, I have no faith in Miami whatsoever. I think
how
I
can you?
don't. The players don't have any respect for the coach.
Hmm.
Um, the Jets, the Jets are just the Jets, man. I mean that. I mean, I think God just said, "Okay, we gave you Joe Namath, we gave you that one Super Bowl ring, but now you're just irrelevant." I mean, I just don't know what to make. I just don't know why that team, why that organization has just been so bad for so long.
So long.
Especially, yeah, yeah,
The
um,
favorite fan base.
yeah. But New England, um, Vrabel, steady coach. I mean,
Absolutely. Great pedigree.
and the thing is, I mean, he's um, he's benefiting from the fact that he doesn't have to directly follow Belichick.
Hmm. Let
The guy they
Mayo
had,
take the bullet.
yeah. So and I think they're going to give. I think New England's going to be on the come up, and I really believe they have a shot to really get into the playoffs.
Okay. I in my crystal ball, that's kind of what I was seeing when I was talking about this earlier. Okay, let me flip to this one. And I know that there are some people out there that get cranky with me because you know how much trash we used to talk back in the day.
Oh yeah,
And I say the AFC South, along with the Big 12, two of the biggest chicken and dumplings conferences in the period, bar
yeah,
none.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, like Houston's going to win that by default. I mean, the Texans win that by default. What like the Prince T Law is,
Yeah,
yeah. He was supposed to be the second coming, but
it's not there.
um
Travis Hunter is going to be a great story and fun to watch, but is he going to uplift Jacksonville into something we can take serious? Probably not.
no, I mean, yeah, no, not a cornerback can't do it. I mean, not even prime time, not even Dion could lift this team like that.
No,
Dion was
absolutely.
a great key piece, but I mean, you have to have. I mean, like I said, you have to have the QB.
Hmm.
You have to have the QB to do it. And that's sure as hell ain't going to happen in Indian.
Sure, we got Danny Dimes, and it's pretty clear that the Colts have given up on A. Rich. I mean, after he tapped out in that game last year, I was just like going, "Man, brother, you go big in the UFL quicker than you can say Tony Dorsett pulling nonsense like that."
And then there's the other team, Tennessee, right?
Right, and they're interesting because I like the fire and tenacity that Cam Ward's trying to bring to the table. I mean, take what you will watching his various stops, whether it's Incarnate Ward,
Yeah.
Wazoo, or Miami. But I think the guy's got the heart. But then I look at that team and just say, man, it's probably going to be another year or two. I mean, they're not going to make the leap like the Commanders did.
Well, yeah, yeah, because I mean, I don't think any of the I was never high on any of the quarterbacks in this draft anyway.
Okay,
None
which
of the
is
quarterbacks in this draft anyway excited me.
okay. That's an interesting one, which I will circle back when we're talking about the NFC. Okay, it's kind of interesting because you talk about the Texans, and it's okay. Mr. Stroud is getting a lot of blowback, and I'm sitting there thinking they've gone to two playoff appearances. Bobby Slowick was a scapegoat. Should have taken the jobs that were being offered that year when he was a hot commodity. But they were still in the playoffs, chicken and dumplings conference or not, 2 years in a row. And I'm trying to think, given that they were as big of a dumpster fire as the Commanders at the end of the Watson era,
Can you give me 1 second here?
yeah, we can totally. Yeah, it's like all of this talk, he took a step back in the sophomore slump, and I'm sitting here thinking, this guy and that particular team may be one of the most dangerous in the AFC. On the eye test and who they have on their roster. And this kid's a cool customer,
Who are you talking about again? I'm sorry.
Mr. Stroud.
Yeah, yeah, he's you know, like I said, that team, you're right. That team is interesting. That team is I mean, they really played the Chiefs tough in the playoffs. Um, yeah,
Heck of a
but I mean,
coach.
and they're going to and they've got at least 5 or 6 wins right off the bat just by being in that division.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Um, yeah,
Everybody's
they're
slipping on the proverbial banana pill.
but one thing that might hurt them, like if the status of their running game, because Joe Mixon may not,
That's very huge.
you know,
Definitely a major cog that's going to hurt them.
yeah.
Okay. So let's go out west then. So, okay, obviously the Chiefs have had a stranglehold on the AFC West. But
On the
you've
AFC, let's just
the AFC. When when it comes to the AFC West, and now you've got people like Colin Coward who have, I mean, I don't know, did you make out with Bo Nix's mom or something like that? Because the way he and others are talking about Denver is poised to overtake the Chiefs, and if not them, then maybe it's the Chargers, and maybe Pete Carroll. I know the Chiefs have done so much, but I'm looking at this whole Broncos hype and just like, yeah, it was a great defense that they've got, and I do believe they could be a playoff team, but then supplant the Chiefs,
Yeah, that's a tall order right there.
it is
It's I mean, until somebody beats the Chiefs, I pick the Chiefs. I mean
interesting.
they've got the credibility. You can't argue. There's no argument you can make that there's a team in the AFC West better than the Chiefs.
No,
There's no argument. There's
okay,
no argument you can make.
I
Yeah,
wouldn't make it.
granted, Denver's they supposedly have a great defense. Patrick Surtain,
Stone
he's
cold baller.
yeah, but and but the Chiefs, they're just the Chiefs. They are like I hate to say they're like the 49ers. Well, no, I
Okay.
can't say that. The Niners never lost a Super Bowl in Joe Montana's era.
Hey, that's why I get to like knockdown brawls with Generation Y and Z, and when they're always trying to tell me about Brady and I'm just some stupid boomer. I'm like, man, I watched Joe Montana. The only way he ever lost is you knocked his ass out. And then that controversial loss to the Redskins where, where flags were thrown, but otherwise that guy, when he was on the Niners, I mean, he
Yeah,
was Fort Knox.
right. Yeah, like I say, they get. I get in the argument too. Like, who would you rather have, Brady or Montana in the big game? In the big game, like, give me the guy who never lost one.
Mhm. No, absolutely. I mean, and Brady had all kinds of money. There was something about Montana, as being an NFC junkie back then. That
Yeah,
guy put so much fear in my soul. It's just like, oh, this motherfucker's gonna do it.
right.
I
But
mean, go ahead.
but back to the AFC West though.
Mhm.
Like I said, I've got no faith in Justin Herbert. Like I said, he's a great thrower. Um, I was going to say he's like Marino, but I wouldn't put him in the class of Marino.
Yeah,
He's
Marino might come through the screen and fucking whoop both of our asses.
he's just like he's just Philip Rivers 2.0.
Wow, interesting. Interesting that you say that because I've resisted, obviously being in Eugene, and I remember the first game he played when he walked on the field, and I said, "Holy crap!" Just given the guys
Yeah,
physical makeup and the tools, I said, "This guy's an NFL quarterback," and it's tough, obviously living here in Eugene, and the right, where I don't want, oh, be too out of line. But I come from the school that you did, and it's like as Richard Pryor said, and which way is up? The scene I'm talking about hey, you gotta get some before you're gonna have some kids, kind of thing.
yeah,
And that's how I feel with Justin Herbert. It's just like, and because the media loves him so much, because it was 4.06 GPA in mechanical engineering, a good guy. But it's sort of like you have to deliver. And as
well,
we,
yeah. Like let's say, well, like even going back even further, Terry Bradshaw was done with a fucking rock. But when it was a big game, he showed up.
that's a great point. And this is kind of a sidebar. I know we're kind of diverging a little bit here. But, try to talk to, all of these millennials, X and Y and Zers, and they're like, oh man, Bradshaw was a game manager. And I'm like, obviously, all you've done is watch YouTube clips, the 5 or 10 minute recap. Not only
Yeah,
was that mofo tough as they come, but
right.
I mean, in the clutch, that man delivered.
Yeah, look at his fourth quarters in Super
Hmm.
Bowls. Look at the game against the Rams or the two games against the Cowboys.
Absolutely.
He could just his resume. He can throw a Super Bowl resume on the table. Okay, he could go to anybody outside of Montana, Aikman or Brady and say, okay, beat it.
Absolutely. And you look at
And
them and just say, competition wise, the degree of difficulty, I don't even know if you guys can beat my hand,
right.
especially given how rough and tumble the NFL was back in them days.
Oh yeah. I mean, you can't clothesline anymore. You can't.
No. You remember
But
that when Turkey JoJo Jones basically slammed him on his head with
yeah.
the
And he's in convulsions, on the field, but he got back up and still won the damn game.
said, nah, man, we're gonna take this. I mean, stuff where people would be up for assault, which
I'll
is
tell you what, I think to me, one of the most interesting team in the AFC West was this year is going to be the Raiders.
okay. I was gonna ask you about that. Okay, we're gonna get there. So tell me, what's your take on the silver and crack?
Well, I mean, I think Pete Carroll. I mean, he's proven he's a heck of a coach, and I think
Damn great coach.
and I think the quarterback situation is so much better now that because Geno Smith is underrated. Uh, well,
He's
maybe not.
proven that.
I wouldn't say underrated, but Geno Smith is a definite upgrade of what
Yeah,
over what they've got.
underappreciated, I think, in terms of what he's
Yeah.
done and
So
sticking
I think
through. Go ahead.
so. I think there, and I think just having a guy that they know is going to be able to move the ball a little bit is going to give the team a lot more confidence and give the little team a little more hope. And when you have hope, you can do great things. And I
Sure.
don't, I mean, because I honestly think they're going to be better than the Chargers.
I would like to see that because
I
I
think
think,
the I think the Chargers are going to finish last in that division.
okay,
Um, it's going to go Chiefs, Broncos, Raiders, Chargers.
love it, love it. Because it's interesting when it comes to the Raiders. And what I've been saying on the Fox Trading and the Foxhole podcast for many years now, it's been such a missed opportunity because you know how you've been associated with the Raiders, right? In ways that most people will never know. And you know about that organization like my dear departed brother and myself know, and how getting into Vegas and actually getting a real stadium and getting, to a point where Mark Davis can have that huge mansion and have starlets and just because you so don't deserve this given what a skinflint low budget operation you all have run, and all of a sudden you've got this going in Las Vegas. And it's as big of a joke as it was in the last sad years of Al's tenure, which were pretty sad and pathetic.
Yeah, yeah. Um, you know,
I know, right?
I mean, like, I mean, like, the first thing you think about Mark Davis is that stupid haircut.
Oh my
I mean,
God.
but you're right. I mean, he never. I guess it just fell into his lap because
It
he
did.
never he was not around.
Mm-mm.
I mean, Al didn't like take him under his wing like Jerry's doing with his son.
Hmm.
Al was just like, I got a kid, yeah, whatever. It seemed with Al, the Raiders were more important to his, than his kid.
Okay, so I gotta flip to this. Somehow, and I'm glad we still got time in this window. So the biggest story since the last season ended, and it keeps getting weirder and weirder, is my man, Mr. Shador Sanders. And with the Dion Slurpers, as I call them, because as good as Prime was, and Prime is all time, there's a cult that kind of, has this weird obsession, and obviously his son is transferred. I mean, you've got people saying Stefanski's trying to sabotage him so he can't succeed. I'm just like, will you folks get off the internet for a few minutes and just take a dose of reality? What do you feel about Mr. Sanders? Shador.
Um, like I said earlier, I was never high on any of these quarterbacks coming out of the draft. Um,
Oh,
and,
Lordy.
like I've heard from a lot of people that he's just not. he's yeah, I mean he's not that good of a prospect. Um, and you look at his preseason. He held on to the ball too long and took some unnecessary sacks instead of just maybe throwing the ball away. And he tried to make something happen. And yeah, I mean, like I said, you're not running around against. You're not. This not. It's not Colorado State. And it's,
You're not doing the Charleston and my
you know,
whole derogatory comment about chicken and dumplings conferences. See, the
yeah.
thing is,
And
okay, go
he's
ahead.
just finding out. I mean, like NFL guys. I mean, these guys can run. They can run you down. And
Right, because I'm gonna say when his 1 year in the Pac-12, because the thing with the Pac-12 is you've got the Oregons, Washingtons, and then what's going to be the new Pac-12, all the kind of awesome rans. But it's like when you played a real when he came to Autzen, and it was pretty clear in like 6 minutes that yeah, there's Oregon who's got guys who are going to make NFL rosters
yeah,
than these guys.
right. Um, and plus, it's Cleveland, man.
Well, there's that too.
It's just Cleveland, man. I
Jimmy
mean,
Haslam, if we're talking, if there's a sewer that's overflowing, there it is.
yeah. And actually, and taking Sanders is that's such a Cleveland thing to do because they
Truly.
already drafted a quarterback earlier, and
Had
I
Kenny
mean,
P, have Watson still what you have to do something with.
and Flacco's going to start.
Absolutely. It,
That's just Cleveland, man. I mean,
it truly is. It truly is.
and
And
I mean, I feel bad for Miles Garrett because he's a stone cold baller.
mhm,
I mean, granted, he's getting his money, but I'm pretty sure he goes, man, why couldn't another team just trade for me?
mhm,
Why didn't somebody give me the Micah Parsons deal to get the Micah
absolutely.
Parsons for me?
It's like, hey, what? And I'm like, and Adam Peters is probably saying, Jimmy Haslam, you remember we had some things we could have traded.
Yeah,
Just,
no,
can you imagine that guy in the nation's capital?
right, right.
Oh, I know we're so bad, but what can I say as far as that goes? Wow, man. So we're we're so lighting it up when it comes to AFC. I can't wait till we get to NFC, but since we still got time on this side of the block, um, I gotta ask you this real quick. I was gonna say when in the earlier test block. What do you think about the whole globalization of the game, where Roger wants to have NFL games pretty much on every continent?
Um, I think globalization is okay, but I mean, showing your product off, yeah, that's one thing. But the NFL it's an American game.
Truly.
Born, I mean, they don't even. I mean, they call it American football. They have football in Europe and then American football, which we call it soccer. They call it football. I
What?
just, I mean, like I say, it's good to expand the game, but I mean, they're just chasing the dollars that the NBA could get. I mean, because I mean, the NBA was the first to globalize.
True, 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 true. And that's pretty much what's what allowed them to sign the $76 billion media rights deal. Because heck, the numbers have been taking for the association pretty much this whole
Well, here,
decade, but the fact that Indonesia, Malaysia, India, it's huge. It's like we
well,
love
here's
Run, we love Luca.
here's the thing. Football all over the world, football is the number one game.
Mhm.
In Europe, it's soccer in Europe, but they call it football.
So we
In
like to say
America,
football
we call it
proper.
football.
Mhm.
But
Mhm.
basketball is a steady second everywhere else in the world.
Truly, truly, truly.
I mean, basketball is the number two sport all over the world, whether it's
Absolutely.
whether it's to soccer or whether it's to football in America.
That
Basketball is
said,
always
but
it's a
fair enough.
solid
But
number
the
two.
interesting thing is because the rest of the world is obsessed with our wretched, wicked society that we have here and all the things we export, it is fair to say the NFL is getting traction. I mean, it's never going to be hardcore, but there's always going to be a fascination with it because it is that. It's the biggest product in the world. It's bigger than the EPL in some ways, and the EPL is about as big as it gets, right?
Ooh, I'm not. I don't know if I'm willing to go that
Okay,
far.
but it's not leaps and bounds. I mean, they're in the same conversation.
Okay, because I think because there's so many Americans spread out throughout the world
Mhm.
that that like a football game in England is going to sell out. A football game in Germany. I mean, actually, when you really think about it, man, Germany is more, given the history of that country.
Oh, undoubtedly.
Germany is Germany. I would think they'd be more attracted to football than any other European country.
Mhm. Yeah,
Hmm.
it's like it'd be crazy because you know how Madrid has that incredible stadium, where
Yeah,
they can flip out that right. The comms are actually going there. I'm just like going, wow, this is pretty nutty. I know it's tough on the home fan bases. Like I said, given how intoxicated we are about being entertained, that these teams that have to give up a home game and maybe have to go on a away game because everybody in their psychoticness, like, oh yeah, I've got to go travel and whatnot. But
you know,
go ahead.
I'm saying. I think you remember. I think the NFL gave up on NFL Europe too soon.
Oh, totally, totally,
I think if they tried to bring it back, I think NFL Europe would be a successful league. I think would be
absolutely.
a little more successful. It'd
Would
be
make Go ahead.
Go ahead, go ahead.
It would make more sense than the UFL, which is playing to fucking Joe Bob and Mary Jane, who they
Yeah,
fucking gave tickets to at the mall to show up.
right. Yeah, it would make a lot more sense because the UFL or whatever you want to call it, man. It's
Uh,
yeah, yeah, I mean, you watch. I mean, I tried to watch it, but when
Zero
it's out
says
of season, we're just so ingrained to our seasons. We know like summer, spring, summer baseball, winter through almost summer basketball. Same with hockey. We're just ingrained, and football in the spring, unless it's a college football scrimmage, just ain't gonna work.
no, no. They tried numerous times, but I'm with you 2000% in terms of NFL Europe would be, they'd probably be all about it right now,
Yeah,
especially
no.
because the way it was kind of a grassroots kind of thing.
And now they're more familiar with, like I said, the NFL is globalized. They're more familiar with the game itself, knowing as far as like understanding the rules.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, I think right now NFL Europe would be a much better sell than the UFL.
Oh, truly. So I got to ask you this. This is just for, since got a few minutes before we switch over to the NFC on the next reel. So I was watching the Niners and the Raiders, the preseason game at the Death Star. By the way, I think that fake torch has got to be one of the cheesiest things fucking in the whole in all of sports. But Tom Brady tried to mimic the Al Davis look with the white starter jacket and all that stuff. I was just like,
Oh,
wow.
oh no.
So my question to you is, di- we talked about the Raiders a few minutes ago. What is the Brady effect gonna be on just win, baby?
Minimal.
Minimal.
Yeah, because I mean he's not there every day. He's not there. He's not gonna. I mean, he's not there every day making decisions. He just owns part of the team. It's not like like if he owned like 40% of the team, I I'd say, okay, he has he'd have more impact. Um, but I mean, like he's every week he's going to do games on TV, you know?
Right, and there's certain restrictions he has to abide by. And he's
Right,
kind of like Magic when people go, well, Magic owning the Dodgers. I'm like, Magic has a piece of the Dodgers, but
right,
Magic's not in the boardroom.
right. Yeah. Same with Washington. Magic, he's got a piece of the team, but I mean, like if Magic walks in and say, "Yeah, we should do this, we should do that, we should do this," the football people will look at Magic like, "Man, just go away.
It's like,
Just collect, just pick up your dividends check, just go somewhere else."
right, or as I guess said the 21st century Ben Johnson, or Bill Walsh said, well, I kind of got turned off by that team because basketball guys tried to be football people.
Yeah. So I think I just think Brady's just kind of a minimal. I mean, he can just say, "I'm part of a team. I'm part of an owner." And that's about it. That's about
Right, and it'll be interesting, 'cause, kind of watching how he is acted with his interest in soccer clubs. He's got like a piece of Birmingham City, and he called out Wayne Rooney. Basically, he's just saying, "Man, what you guys are doing is soft." So, I mean, in that aspect, in terms of trying to chew somebody's ass, I'm with you in terms of him having a minimal effect. It's gonna be interesting to see if Mark truly says, "What do you think, Tom?"
No, it's not about Mark. It's more like what Pete, because
Well, Pete.
Pete Carroll's the one who's there every day. Pete
Mhm.
Carroll's the one who knows the team. Pete Carroll knows what the team does and doesn't need.
True, true, true. I will give you that.
And like I say, if Tom Brady was there every day, I mean, actually doing nuts and bolts work, I'd have a different opinion. But I think it's just, I think it's just minimal.
Okay. Perfect. Perfect segue. So we're gonna cut away from here. The next one starts at I think 9:55. Let's rock it and talk the NFC and really
All
have some
right.
fun. All right, let's get to the fun stuff. Let's get to the NFC. Yeah, I know. Back in the day when we used to hang out, and the NFC was king of the block. It hasn't been so much that, and it's kind of funny that ever since, right, that kind of the Packers and Broncos broke through that stranglehold the NFC had, and it's just been a little bit different. But I feel things are about to change when it comes to the NFC. And my first question to you is going to be, when it comes to the NFC, fly, Eagles, fly again?
Ooh. I mean, there's no doubt they've got the top to bottom, their roster is the best. Um,
As much as it makes me sick, but yes,
yeah, I mean, they've just done a great job building that roster, but it is, it's difficult to repeat.
it truly
Um,
is. Let alone that division, but obviously as Super Bowl champions and whatnot.
um, and it all, it's a health thing,
Hmm.
because it's health and motivation with the Eagles. I mean, will they? I mean, will they be motivated enough to to avoid the Super Bowl hangover?
Truly,
Um,
truly. And it's really hard to do what Saquon did. I mean, any back having back-to-back seasons, just the wear and tear and having a target on your back.
but what helped? To go from that Eagles offensive line to running behind the best offensive line, in
Oh
maybe the
God.
past decade.
Yeah. It's just
Yeah, I mean,
criminal.
3 or 4 yards before he's. Even getting touched.
Oh, absolutely. And then when you have a certain teams like the Commanders who are really capable of missing your assignment and giving him a lane as big as the tunnels between Jersey and New York to run through.
Yeah, yeah. Um, but I mean, honestly, I'm not going to pick them to win I'm not going to pick them to win the conference again.
Okay,
Um,
okay. Jalen Hurts, overrated, underrated, or he is
vastly,
who he is.
vastly underrated.
I agree with you. I don't
Um,
understand why he doesn't get more props.
he's played two Super Bowls. He's outplayed Mahomes in both of them. Beat him once.
Hmm.
Um, I mean, what more do you want from the guy? I mean, what more do you want from him? I mean, he's got you to two Super Bowls. He got you one, and he was like I say, he was a dominant player, a superior player to Mahomes in both games. I just don't understand, why all the arguments about, oh, he's not a top 10 guy, he's not this, he's not that. Well, tell you what, I'd rather have his results than Josh Allen,
Well, and okay, I
or
admit,
Lamar Jackson's.
I admit maybe because I'm a little bit biased here, and you probably are as well. But I've seen that mofo stick a red hot poker up the commander's boo boo enough times to be just like, and you're telling me, I mean, granted, he's got incredible weapons. AJ Brown, Mr.
Yeah.
Smith, you know, I mean, I bet it's just other guys have great weapons too, but this guy's like clutch, and I've seen it too many times. And as bad as the Commanders football team and Get Redskins have been, we've actually played them pretty good. And I'm like watching this guy, I'm like, are you kidding me? As far as pulling a rabbit out of his hat like the Trix rabbit?
I look at the game, the Washington won, when they turned the ball over 5 times and Jaden Daniels just had that one of his signature games.
Hmm.
Look at where that game was when when he got injured.
Hmm.
Look at where that game was,
I
and look at
know.
where it is. That tells me right there that this guy is like what old quote old Reggie Jackson, the straw that stirs that drink.
Okay.
You know,
S- Hmm.
without him, Philadelphia is not. I mean, they're a very good team, but with them, they're a great team.
Okay. Excuse me. Let me ask you this then. Within that division, um, okay, the Giants. What's the over and under between Jackson Dart, who may be the dark horse of this draft of unimpressive quarterbacks, that he gets the reins over, let Russ cook?
Um, I'll say 7 games.
I think seven before the hook gets pulled.
Yeah,
That's good. I'm kind of thinking that Russ being Russ, he's go and the Giants being who they are. Why I'm petrified about week one is he's
yeah,
gonna get some wins some way, like he did against us last year in Pittsburgh. I'm not saying they're gonna beat us, but he's gonna get wins like that because that's what Russ does.
yeah. But eventually, eventually, there'll be too much Russ cooking. I
Hmm.
mean, too much like him running the football, or he'll at some point the fan base is up there, and they're just going to say we just got to go with the kid. But I say about 7 games when they're probably about 2-5, something like that. And I'm not really like I say, I mean, I'm more worried about the Giants defense.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, absolutely. They've got some beasts.
Yeah. I'm more worried about that defense than what I see on the other side of the ball.
Okay, okay.
'Cause I'm not really sure they'll be able to run the ball that well.
Interesting. Okay, obviously the Cowboys with the big Micah trade, and I'll get to the Packers when we talk about the Crack and Brew division in
Mhm.
a moment. But okay, the Cowboys. minus Parsons. You still got Dak. You still got CD. You still got Jerry being Jerry. You've got Schottenheimer, who, okay, he's a great coordinator, but we have no idea what kind of head coach he's going to be. What do you think about what's going on in Big D?
Well, it's a circus down there. I
Is
mean,
it though?
it's just a circus. I mean, because I remember years back, when I got to talk to Jerry and interview him,
Hmm.
he
Yep.
said he goes, my priorities are making sure we're successful on the field, making sure we're financially stable, and or we want to be successful on the field. We want to be financially stable, and the other thing he said was, oh yeah, and he wanted, he wanted to be, popular. He wanted, the brand to be the brand, or But the thing he said was not necessarily in that order, which told me, I mean,
Wow.
he's more worried about making money.
Oh, sure. It's paying off Jerry World 10 years early.
Yeah, but I and like if and Dak Prescott's saying all the right things and everything, but he's just like, he's just, to me, Dak's like a stale politician. He knows what to say, says the right things, doesn't, is not going to, say anything that's going to get him in trouble into any controversy. But on the field, I
Okay.
think Dak just can't stay healthy.
No, absolutely. And if CD, he's a great talent, but obviously
Well, I
not.
think having Pickens there is going to be
That's
that,
huge.
yeah, that's interesting. I mean, but if they have to go with, I mean, like if Dak gets hurt early, I I'm not hoping.
No, but it's a possibility
I'm
given his past.
yeah, and they have to go with Joe Milton. Come on.
Okay, okay. So let's flip to the Kraken Brew division. Probably the most intriguing division in
Yeah,
the NFC. We obviously got Dan Campbell and his shenanigans. We got the next gen Bill Walsh. We got Mr. LaFleur, who I think is the most overrated coach in the damn league for some reason. But now they got Micah.
yeah. Ooh.
And then we've got the Vikings, who we've got JJ and a very loaded and dangerous team that just got Adam Thielen back for the security blanket.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm that their quarterback McCarthy.
Okay, what's your take on JJ?
Um, ooh, I'd have kept Darnold.
Really?
Uh, yeah. I mean, Darnold, and he meshed with the coach.
That he did? Oh,
I mean, I mean, he lost 3 games last
absolutely.
year.
Hmm.
And yeah, and I know they put, they drafted McCarthy first round, and he got hurt and all that, but McCarthy, and putting a rookie in with that, with that kind of talent, that had those type of expectations. I think he's not. I don't think he's as good as Darnold. I don't think he will be as good as Darnold was last year.
Can he be Big Ben in a similar situation with Pittsburgh way back in the day? As far as that was a very talented team, obviously could win a Super Bowl as Big Ben being a game manager in his first ring.
Yeah, but when I saw Big Ben in college, I looked at him. I immediately said, "Hey, that's an NFL dude." Because when I saw him at Miami of Ohio, I go, that is an NFL guy right there. I didn't see that with McCarthy at Michigan.
Okay. Okay.
And because McCarthy, look at the team he had around him too. I mean, at Michigan, it's like you know, it's like he's throwing the ball to dudes who were like 20 yards open. I mean, a lot of things I saw with McCarthy is like on deep patterns, like the guys had to slow down and come back for the ball, then run with it. He
Okay.
wasn't really hitting guys in stride like you know like a top notch quarterback would.
Fair enough. Okay. What do you think about Brother Love?
Ooh. Um, he took a step back last year,
Yes,
obviously,
he did. Got banged up several times and didn't bounce back from it.
and he's ruptured his thumb right now, so
Hmm.
that's going to be a factor. Um, I mean, if he's healthy, the Packers will be a formidable team. I mean, with given with their roster and especially with the trade, but is he that guy? I'm not. I think he's a little better than. I mean, he's a little better than Goff right now, but I just, I don't. I mean, he has to show me. I mean, I just need to see. I mean, he has to show me because I don't really have a lot of faith in him in the big game.
Okay. I'm kind of with you there, which, you mentioned the Honolulu Blue and golf and Dan Campbell, yeah, minus the 21st century Bill Walsh and Aaron Glenn, who's now with the Jets. And you have to wonder about this particular team. And then they're going to get Agent Hutchinson back, which is going to be huge, for that team. But have they had their moment? It is the sun about the set of the Honolulu Blue.
I think so.
Yeah, I kind of feel the same way too. I know I have a lot of
Um,
Lions friends. They're friends of the Foxhole. They're gonna come at me, but I feel the same way.
I mean, like I said, I lost faith in Campbell when he refused to go up three scores against the Niners in the NFC
Hmm.
Championship.
Hmm.
Because I was sitting in the bar with a couple of my friends, and when they failed on that fourth down, instead of going for the three-score lead, they just blew the game right
Yeah,
there.
my roomie, she's a huge Niner fan. They had a couple of friends there watching the game, and I had that exact same moment. I got up and walked out from the common area that we all share and watch games with. It's just said, I said, I'm just pissing away and went inside, just laughing
Right.
my ass off.
Yeah, and without Ben Johnson, without a great coordinator, um, I don't know if another coordinator is going to be able to pull out of Goff what Johnson was able to pull out of Goff, who actually is a Marin County kid, from
Totally, totally. And somebody who I
um,
have a lot of respect for, in terms of what he's gone through and what he's been able to prove. But let me get this in here real quick. So you say the Niners thing. For me, that was it too. But I think the anvil that always falls on Wiley E. Coyote's head is, in spite of all of that, having the Commanders at home and getting ran out of your own gym by a team that was probably a year or two away from even being ready for that moment.
right. Yeah.
I
Um,
mean,
I mean, and I know, Dan Campbell turned the offense over to Ben Johnson, but at some point as a head coach, you got to step in and say, man, you are not having a wide receiver throw the fucking ball downfield
no,
in
no.
a key moment. And when Sanders still got a second interception, if I'm a head coach, I go, that play, no, no.
Okay.
Um, that a head coach, that's where a head coach has to step in and just say, look, man, we got to be smarter than that.
Oh, truly, truly, truly. And yeah, when it comes to the 21st century Bill Walsh and the Bears, I mean, we talked about this in the previous session. but it's definitely bears repeating because I don't know what's going to happen with that data. But the Bears, for me, I'm thinking best case scenario 8 and 9, but more likely 6 and 11.
I'm with you there. Because that division is stacked.
It's just too tough.
Yeah. And they're the and like I said, Caleb Williams. I bet you, the Bears fans are like, I mean, they're probably lamenting the fact that they didn't draft Daniels with
Hmm.
the number one pick, but yeah, the Bears never get the quarterback right anyway. So
Yeah, very true. Okay,
yeah.
so let's flip to the South.
Ooh.
Unlike the AFC South, it's kind of a chicken and dumplings division, but I think this is tougher than the AFC South. When I look at, okay, yeah, the Saints are an absolute dumpster fire, but then I think about smoking the Baker Bowl or rolling with the Dirty Birds 3.0, whatever version it is at this point.
No,
Go ahead.
I think I like the Buccaneers and going away in that division because I think Baker Mayfield has really like all the piss and vinegars out of him. Now he's just playing football, um, and he's proven to be a pretty good a good quarterback and a good leader. And they've got a good team around
Yeah,
them. And
Todd Bowles is doing a hell of a job.
I just don't see any other team in that division. I mean, Atlanta.
An
It,
interesting team because they have weapons.
yeah, and it all depends on the development of Penix.
Hmm.
If he takes the leap, I mean, they can challenge Tampa Bay, but I just don't I just don't see anybody beating Tampa Bay in that division.
Okay, so let's get down to the nitty gritty. Okay, because as I said earlier, say it again. Disclaimer: Dave and I both love this team in DC, and I've been saving this so we can get where we are time wise. Okay, there's three main things when it comes to the Commanders. Let's get the first one out of the way. How would you feel given Trump, and like I said, we're neutral on this podcast, we let other people do the politicians shit. If they went back to the Redskins, would you be disappointed or would you just say, okay, this world's crazy, I'm rolling with it?
A little of both.
Amen to that, man, brother. Amen to that. Because I
You
would be
know,
hella disappointed, but I'm like, okay, whatever.
yeah, like I said, the way things are going in this country, in this world, I mean, there's nothing surprises me. Nothing really. I'm kind of numb to a lot of things I normally wouldn't have been numb to.
That makes two of us and quite a few people that roll with us.
But I wouldn't, but they've had, I think going back to the Reds, going back to, they're the Commanders now. I mean, they have been, and I didn't like,
JD5's the commander.
I didn't like the name, I didn't like the name at first, but it's growing on me.
Oh,
And
absolutely. Love
either
it.
you like,
Absolutely.
I mean, you like the team, whether it's,
Absolutely.
I mean,
Absolutely.
I'm not gonna say, I'm not gonna, jump off just because, they're not the Redskins anymore.
Like
But
some of these fools. Okay.
yeah,
All that said, let's get to the real stuff. JD5. It's clear he's such a likable guy and what he did last year that he's like I was saying earlier about quarterbacks in this new tier who could snatch or force their way into the penthouse. There's so much going on with this kid based on last year and what could happen. What do you think the ceiling is for him, especially now that defensive coordinators with their libraries that are bigger than MGM's vault? How is it going to be for JD5 in year two?
I th I don't think there is really a ceiling. Because I mean, he last year he revitalized the franchise. He played great football and he played in clutch moments. He just shows he's just got something that other guys just don't.
He built for it.
Yeah. And Nick Saban said, the toughest guy we ever that I've ever had to coach against was Daniels. And when Nick Saban says something like that, Nick's not gonna he doesn't go throwing out cookies like that.
Oh, absolutely.
Um,
And you cannot underplay, this whole thing with Terry, as we kind of talked about, via text, could have happened sooner, whatever the case may be. But in the end, I kind of get it. Terry technically isn't their guy, but means a lot to folks. That's so huge that we don't have that dark cloud looming
you know,
over.
yeah, and I'm disappointed that Daniels didn't get to throw a pass in the preseason, even though he played.
Yeah, that very
I,
disappointed as well.
I would love to have seen him maybe throw a couple of passes,
Hmm.
but I just look back to that NFC Championship game.
Hmm.
He's not the one who blew that
Oh,
game.
hell no.
He was up for the moment. It's his teammates that fumbled.
And I'm glad that all these, most of those busters, Zacharias, um, Samuel, they're all not Samuel, but De'Ami Brown, they're all wearing colors for somebody else.
Right. I mean, Eckler's still there,
Yes.
but
Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. And
but
but
but he's not the. I mean, he balled out. He's not the one who put the ball on the ground. I mean, he had that one late interception, but the
mhm.
game was way out of hand by
Yeah, I mean, it was such a mockery. Let me
then.
ask you this. Go ahead.
And I was gonna say, honestly though, the NFC Championship game was a lot more competitive than that Super Bowl.
Oh, absolutely. Let me ask you this, and we'll close this with the Commanders. You, once again, bringing Trump and other wackos into this conversation. And like I said, we're nonpartisan here. Um, the return to the district. How do you feel about that? Because I know that you go out and see your sister Lola, and I'm hoping to go out and see a game this year as well. How do you feel about leaving Landover and moving into this palatial palace here in 2030?
I'd love it. Because I mean, I'd love to have him return to the district because one, driving from my sister's house to Maryland is a lot farther.
And then the booties, no less, with nothing out there.
Yeah. Um, and but they belong in. I mean, they belong in the district. And I've been to FedEx Field. I don't know what they call it now, Northwest Stadium
Northwest
or whatever.
Stadium. Hmm.
But that place is a dump.
Okay.
It
Oh,
is not a. It is not. I mean, by NFL standards now, that place sucks, man.
especially now where everything is about the premium experience. Oh,
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah. I mean, my only regret is that if this new palatial stadium is going to be an indoor stadium, I love the outdoor stadiums and all that.
Hmm.
But
Sure, sure. And that's an interesting debate. It's worth a podcast in its own, space.
oh yeah, and me and my sister are going. Me and my sister, not. I don't know if you knew my cousin Dexter, but we've got tickets to the Sunday night game, Denver, Washington, Thanksgiving weekend.
Yeah, I know. That's one of the games that I was looking at. I'm sitting there like going, I don't know how I'm going to figure this out. But yeah, it's like, okay, I gotta get out there
But if you
now.
can, man, if you do, man, you can always stay with my sister. You feel,
Okay, well, that's something I will take under advisement. Well, as the season progresses. Okay,
we
so
never we didn't talk about the NFC West.
exactly, and that's where I was getting ready to go to. Thank you. I mean, great minds think alike. So,
Um,
the first question I want to ask you: has the clock struck 12 on San Francisco?
on this version of them, yes.
Why do you think that?
Well, they're a much older team. Um, Ayuk is they don't know when they're going to get him back or what they're going to get out of him when he gets back.
Hmm.
That defense has been depleted. They lost quite a few key players. McCaffrey is not the same he's not the same player he was because he's
High contact, high volume.
yeah. And I don't have a whole lot of faith in Purdy as a guy who can put a team on his back. So
Uh,
for this, and for this version of the 49ers, I think, yeah, they might be. I think John Lynch is an excellent, excellent GM.
I'm 2000% with you on that one.
Kyle Shanahan. I mean, I think he's a little overrated as a coach, but he's still better than most. Uh, I think he's a great play caller, but handling in-game situations and key moments, I think he's lacking there.
And his record speaks to that, whether as an OC in Atlanta and one of the greatest collapses in San
Right.
Francisco teams that probably should have some more jewelry and they don't.
Yeah, I mean they blew an 11-point lead in the fourth quarter against the Chiefs. Yeah.
Very true. Very talented squad. Okay. I know because we're now in the last 8 minutes. The Rams, team that had the Eagles on the ropes. You've got if Ben Johnson is the 20th century, 21st century Bill Walsh, Sean McVay can say, "Oh hell no,
Yeah.
forget that pup. What
I
about
think
me?"
if Stafford stays healthy, that is a dangerous football team. If Stafford stays healthy, they've got an outstanding defense. They've got some good, I mean, they've got some young studs on that side of the ball.
Yes,
And
they do.
Puka, and if that team stays,
Devontae Adams joining that.
If Stafford stays healthy, I would not be surprised to see the Rams in the Super Bowl.
Okay, okay. So in our we got like about 8 minutes to go.
All right.
Um, rapid fire here. Is there a team that you're seeing that's going to come out of obscurity like the Commanders last year?
Um, if I had to pick one, it would be the Patriots.
Love it, love it, love it.
Um, it would be the Patriots and believe it or not, Seattle.
Absolutely. And Seattle's, uh, yeah, I know they're obscurity because they were on the Cups last year, should have made the playoffs, but yeah, I like that.
Those would be the two teams. I think I've got no faith whatsoever in the Cardinals. I think
Fucking disgusting.
no, I mean I know Kyler Murray. He'll be a pretty good a fantasy quarterback,
As always.
but I mean like football is a game played by big men, and
Hmm.
it's hard to lead big men when you're not one.
Absolutely.
I
Okay, here's
mean
the
when
flip side. So, who that's relevant now is gonna go to dog poop?
ooh, um, I'm not gonna say absolute dog poop, but ooh, I it wouldn't surprise me if Detroit didn't have a good year.
Honolulu Blue, baby.
That wouldn't surprise me. And like I say, if a team gets injured, that always plays a big role in it.
Always.
Uh, but yeah, I'd say like Detroit or maybe even this may sound blasphemous, but Baltimore might not.
That's not a stretch. They have been in line for a fallback for quite some time. So, wow, that is huge. That's
I mean,
been in the back of my mind for a while.
Baltimore's got. I mean, their rosters very strong, but Harbaugh's been there for a long time, and maybe they need to hear a new voice too. You know,
Ooh, damn, that is really interesting. Hmm. Okay, see, because I guess I'm with you on all of those, and I also kind of feel we kind of talked about them earlier. We were talking about Justin Herbert, but I almost kind of feel the Chargers, even though they haven't really done anything, and all of this, hardball walks up water. I'm kind of looking at them as being a team that, well, they're not necessarily relevant, but everybody thinks they are, taking a real step back as well.
that would not that would not shock me either. They're you know I mean the Chargers just have this weird aura about them. You know,
Always.
they've always had this weird aura. Like I mean, they can either I mean, they can really just light it up, and just go like gang, or they can just or they can just fall off the cliff. Yeah, I like I said, I don't think I think they're going to finish last in the AFC West. I
Okay.
really do.
I love it. Love it. Love it. Okay. Now we're down to our last 4 minutes. So let me get you on this one. I mean, this is going to change because you said injuries. The competitions you don't really know until we actually start playing games. And given that nobody plays preseason or somebody does, it's going to take 3 or 4 weeks to shake it up. Who are you seeing right now as somebody who's going to hoist the Lombardi Trophy at the beginning of February?
Ooh, I'm going to say if they stay healthy, the Rams.
Ooh, I love it.
Yeah, I think and yeah, I'm picking the Rams.
Okay, okay. I
Um,
totally can dig that 2000%.
if Washington had a pass rusher, if they had a pass rusher, that that would be the team that I would pick that team. The
Yeah, and
secondary,
I think if they had done a little bit more, especially on the back end, which I'm still kind of
well,
leery about.
I like that. I like that Trey Amos. I think
Yeah,
that
he is a baller.
insane still, man.
Yeah,
He's
I'm just not sure if Lattimore is just like, I'm just in it for the trash at
yeah.
this point.
Lattimore. I mean, I kind of disappointed in his performance in the last year. I mean, yeah, the hamstring and all that, but I mean, he just wasn't worth giving up the draft cap. His performance wasn't worth
No,
giving up the draft capital.
because you're going up against the Eagles, as we talked about earlier, and AJ Brown and Smith. You got to compete.
Yeah, yeah. And I mean, he was getting lit up in the playoff game by Evans.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, just getting manhandled and,
Yeah,
I mean, getting prison sex, to be nice about it.
yeah, yeah. That's the nicest you can say about it.
Yeah, it just, all righty. So we've got to reach the end of our time limit. Perfect. That hopefully we can have a few more of these conversations throughout the season. Because
Yeah.
definitely love to get you in the foxhole and catch up with
Well,
some other things. Thank you for taking the time.
thank you for inviting me on, man. It's been a pleasure.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Um,
It's always good to see you face to face. I mean, we haven't, it's been a while,
exactly,
you know.
exactly. And when the Giants come to Northwest Stadium here in about a week and a half, it's gonna be on, y'all.
Yep.
All right,
Yeah.
Dave.
All right, man.
Well, we will talk soon.
I hope so.
Absolutely. And,
All right,
and
man.
enjoy all the good things. And it's
You too.
harvest time. All
All
right.
right.
Peace out.
Peace out, man.
All right, then. Well, that was fun. Always a pleasure to get Dave in the foxhole. Haven't done it since season one. Dave and I go back, oh man, to the mid 70s back in Central California. Knowledgeable man, always fun. Definitely will have him back as the season progresses along. A lot of cool stuff going on. As I always say, check out the regular Foxtrotting in a Foxhole. Episode 278 will be out later in the week. Keep an eye out for SJ Gets Down, episode 8. She's working on some extraterrestrial stuff. Always fun collaborating with her. Support her. She's got good things going on. Want to be part of the Foxhole experience and come on either AfterShoX, the regular podcast, or the scene, FTINFX at gmail.com, or give us a call, 541-525-0896. Love to hear from you. Episode 4 should be coming soon. Not sure what it's going to be about, but expect it to drop sometime before the end of this week. In the meantime, keep it safe and sane. Talk to you very soon.